everyone. When you were watching this, it is the 4th of July, 1776, July 4th. America was founded.
It's our 249th birthday.
Wow.
2026 will be 250 years.
We are so close. That's really cool.
That actually is cool.
Yeah, I wonder what we're going to do to celebrate.
Probably light off fireworks sponsored by China.
Have a big party.
Yeah.
How do you feel about fireworks, Hagen?
I don't like them.
Were you? Yeah, we talked about this last Wednesday
At church with Tim.
Yeah.
Me and Tim are on the same page.
Yeah, I think
they're
so
a huge
cool.
waste of money.
Well, yeah, you just have never seen good ones.
Just the amount of money people spend on fireworks and set them off. It's like, I just don't think this is worth it.
If you just grow up here and you only see the ones where they shoot them off one at a time, and it's like, that's it, then I understand your opinion. But when you go to like an actually put together show where it's like amazing and they're just all over the place and they're all coordinated and there's like different kinds and there are different sounds, it's one of the most best things ever.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to show you.
I doubt it, but
it's really cool.
Yeah, and then it's like you've seen it for 5 seconds. It's like I've seen enough.
Not with these ones. When you see the big city ones, it's like keep going, and then they stop, and it's like no.
I'm sure that's how it went.
Yes, and now they have drones.
Yeah.
Now they have drones, but I haven't seen. I want to see a drone show one of these days. That you could do some cool America stuff with the drones.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Well, if you haven't figured it out, this is the Calvary Chapel Salmon podcast. And today, me and Hagen are discussing all things America.
Since it is our birthday.
It is America's birthday. Our 249th birthday. We're pretty old.
That's right.
We're pretty old. We're getting up there.
And we're showing our age.
America?
Yeah.
We're acting a little silly.
We're getting frail and fragile, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Not nearly as strong as we used to be.
Well, Rome lasted for like 1,000 years, so I think we still got some more.
Yeah, well, I think they didn't go downhill as quickly, though, is the problem.
Well, they were a republic, and then they turned into empire, tyranny, whatever you call that, dictatorship. So maybe we just need to transition into that next stage, into a dictatorship.
Your buddy Trump's working on that, some say.
He wants his third term.
King.
He wants his third term.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a little silly?
Stop saying that. Gosh.
So we could change it. We could change the Constitution.
We don't. First of all, you'll be 83 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's not that old people can't be in charge, but there's a point where it's like, let's just retire.
It's just well, you're not supposed to retire. Once you retire, you're done. You gotta stay involved. You gotta stay active.
Okay.
But I can see you're saying the precedent of like, okay, once you're almost in your 90s, you probably shouldn't be running the free world. So
yeah,
the free world. I like that. I like that saying that people say, the free world. Yeah. There's the enslaved world, the bad guys, and there's us, the free world.
We don't enslave people. We just pay slaves to make our stuff.
But they're in the slave world.
That's right. So
we're in the free world.
We're sending our free money to the slaves, so it works out.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Is someone else talking?
Someone who doesn't have a microphone talking to us?
The last young president we had was Obama. He was kind of younger, but he aged a lot.
Yeah, you got the gray hairs.
He got the gray hairs quick.
Poor guy. Who is the president that they had to make the rule that you couldn't run for a third term? Because wasn't there someone who tried or did do it? There was someone who did a third term, right?
No, we have had, I think. Well, there was a time where...
let me check the Google.
Either someone died and their vice president finished the term.
And then kept going.
And then he still had 2 more of his own terms that he won. So we've had presidents extend more than just 8 years. I know that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Franklin D. Roosevelt is the only U.S. president to have served 3 full terms. So I think there's maybe a partial term that you were. He was elected in 1932, 1936, and 1940, and 1944.
That sounds like 4.
Though he died early in his 4th term. Dang, 4 times he was elected.
And then he died from not being killed.
That's
he died
crazy.
As president.
And then they made the 22nd Amendment, which is not taking away, it's adding to.
Yeah.
Which was ratified in 1951. So after he died, they were like, okay, no more of this.
That might be too much.
Franklin D. Was he the World War II guy?
I think so.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Teddy Roosevelt.
Sure.
Theodore.
Yes, I just watched the movie The Newsies, Disney Channel original movie. Not Disney Channel, just a Disney movie.
Disney Plus?
Not Disney Plus. No, it's like an older movie. It's a musical about New York. About the strikes.
I've never seen it.
It's so good.
I just have never heard of it. Then when you said musical, it's like, oh yeah,
it's a
no,
musical.
I've never seen
It's
it.
about a real life story, like the strikes in New York with the newspaper boys going on strike. Very good. And in Teddy D. Roosevelt's a big part of it.
Franklin D. Roosevelt?
No, Teddy Roosevelt.
Theodore? Oh wow.
It's an older movie. Yeah, older time. Yeah, he was president.
He was famous for
He
a
was
lot
governor of New York at
of
the time.
conservation stuff.
Yeah. Well, some people don't like him. He was a little liberal in some ways.
Well, he was pretty liberal, but he was a big hunter.
Mhm.
So he'd travel around and hunt. And he was big into preserving
And he
like
fought in
the
the
wilderness.
Mexican War.
Yeah.
And he had asthma.
He rode a horse.
And to calm down his asthma, his parents would drive him around in their carriage or whatever. They didn't have cars back then. To calm down his
Do you know
asthma.
this from Night at the Museum?
Maybe. I don't know where I know this. I just know this. I think I might have been helping one of the kids at this school with their homework and read about this.
The more you know.
Yeah, maybe it was when I was in school. I don't know.
Yeah. Theodore was interesting.
Yeah. Well, good.
But who's your favorite president?
I was just going to say, and I don't know if this is my favorite president, but I was just going to say, good thing we had George Washington to set the precedent. The precedent, not president, to set the precedent.
He did set the presidents too.
Yeah, he did.
As
Of
the
like
first.
not keep on going. Because he could have done a third term. He could have done a fourth, fifth term, but he gave it up.
You know, I actually would really like to meet George Washington.
Sure.
Outside of Joseph Smith, the other person I'd love to meet is George, because a part of me feels like there's just so much good stuff about him. Like I really wonder if he was that great of a guy.
Well, he could not tell a lie.
And there's all these things.
There's this mythology about him.
And it's like, yeah, I wonder how much of it is just like lore and how much of it is real. Because there is just such a thing in American history where like George was just the best. And maybe he was, but I just wonder.
I think he's probably an impressive guy. I mean, if you just look at his accomplishments militarily. I don't know personality wise how great he was. He had like those wood teeth.
And fake hair, right?
Fake hair. Well, that was just a style, yeah. Fake hair, wood teeth.
Comes and goes. I
Yeah.
hear it's coming back.
Is it the fake
wigs.
hair? Oh yes, yes. There are some people.
There's cheesy wigs.
Yeah, well, cheesy, the big ones.
Yeah, the ones they wore back in England.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fads come and go.
Oh wow. Would you ever get one?
No,
I think you'd look good.
I'm not into wigs.
Oh please.
I wear hats or
I think one of these days we'll see. Everyone will say there's something different about Hagen. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
He should have like this full head of hair.
Is that
That'd be
funny?
So funny.
So you like George Washington?
Oh, he's not my favorite. No, too basic of an answer. I'm more of a John Quincy Adams
And I
kind of
think
guy.
the other reason why George Washington is such an enigma to me is that both sides speak well of him.
Yeah,
Like
kinda
he's the only one that Democrats and Republicans look to as like the standard.
Would you say that about Abraham Lincoln as well?
Kind of, not as much, but kind of, yeah.
Yeah. That's a crazy thing about he was the first Republican president.
Right, because
and he freed the slaves.
The Whig Party.
Yeah, the Whig Party.
Things have kind of evolved.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping things evolve more from the
And
two-party system.
People
'cause
say
the
that they've
two-party system
switched.
sucks.
People say that they switched. The Democrats used to be for the racism and the Republicans used to be against racism. People say they switched. But personally,
there are switchings
I don't think
that
they've
happen.
switched.
I mean,
I think the Democrats are still more racist.
I mean,
just in a
20
different
years
way.
ago, 20 years ago,
Democrats keep black people down.
Republicans wanted to go and fight in all these wars, and you were a raging liberal to dare suggest that we have no business being in the Middle East. And now that's a pretty common conservative mindset. So 20 years ago, it was a very liberal thing to say big pharma is bad, big banks are bad, big companies are bad. If you're anti-vaxxer, you're just a crazy hippie liberal. But now that's a much more conservative thing to say. So
Yeah.
definitely things swap,
Those things kind of shift.
which is
throughout
why
history.
you should just get rid of the two parties,
Yeah.
because then it's
But like
then
they
it's
talk
real.
about, our system's literally built for a two-party. Literally,
Oh, it's-
I don't know if
you've
you've gone
made
to
it
this
that way.
part in the interview we both listened to recently, but they literally have like these rooms like built for like there's like the Republican side and the Democrat side, and they get like their hot dogs and sandwiches in there. It's like their conversation rooms, and there's only two of them. So if you're an independent, you don't get to go into either. And I guess we could just tear it down and make them both free rooms,
Make them eat their lunch together. That's my theory.
Aw, that would help them solve differences.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but then in all the on all the convention rooms or like delegation rooms where they like do like stuff, there's like always like these side rooms or back rooms. That's why they're called backroom deals, because there's literally back rooms, and there's two. One for Republicans and one for Democrats.
We need to get rid
so
of the back rooms.
in our building, in the brick and mortar, we could say is this two-party system that's built in. So I'm not saying it's great, but it would be very difficult. Well, why do you think we have it? Do you think we should have it just
because now they're in charge and they're the ones with the money?
But no. Like why was it a good idea in the first place?
I don't think it was a good idea
to have two parties.
I think it naturally happened. I think there used to be many options, and then all of a sudden these two got strong. And once something gets strong,
together,
once they get strong, they don't give up power. Mm-hmm. Of course, no real person who has power in the Republican Party is going to suggest a third system, because it's going to take votes away from you and power away from you.
Sure.
And no one in the Democratic is going to do that either. But what I don't like is just like, it's like, if you're a conservative or a Republican, that must mean this, and this. But I think we're seeing way more. There's way more fluidity in that. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I am this and this and this on these issues, but I'm not this and this and this on these issues. So you could actually have a candidate that's much more reflects you, instead of having half of the platform you not really be a fan of. Because then it causes you to just be like a 1 or 2 issue voter instead of voting for all the issues.
Well, do you think if we had like 17 different parties, like there would be the danger of like one party getting control of the presidency and then like, or getting control of something and then just being able to take all control?
I think we already have that.
Well,
I actually don't even think there's 2 parties.
Yeah, you're one party. Yeah.
I think that there's. Yeah. I think whoever's behind it all is in charge of both of them.
Well, they hate each other so much, or maybe they just
the people do.
They appear to hate each other. But yeah, the positive argument for it would be like, okay, we have these 2 parties, but they're able to kind of be like yin and yang to each other. And they'd be able to kind of keep a balance, opposed to we had like 7 parties, and then one was just able to gobble up the rest, and then we have one party.
Yeah.
So 2 parties is better than one party.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in one party.
Well, one party's like a monarchy.
Kind of. Yeah, we would still vote for the people in that one party, but they could decide who we vote for. They could just not have a primary election. Not that any parties in America would do that today.
Yeah.
And just say, this is the guy you all need to vote for.
Well, the other thing that actually makes me mad about this
Joe Biden,
is how much money gets wasted every year on elections. Hundreds of millions of dollars every 2 years. Not even 4 years, every 2 years. And it's like, why? The only ones getting ahead are whoever is behind both the parties. The uni party, the one party is somehow getting benefits off of this. That's the only reason why it's happening.
Are you sure?
The media. Yeah.
Well, it's like, why would they have to spend all this money then? Why would they have to spend all this? If there was just one party really controlling everything, couldn't they just pick the president who's going to win and then just not spend that much money?
No, because they're getting the money.
How? They're spending... The DNC and the RNC spend the money.
They're the pawns. That's where you're confused. These are the pawns. There's a king over here that's running things.
But
the pawns let the pawns pay you. You think the pawns are in charge. The pawns are spending hundreds of millions of dollars.
How would the money get to the secret party if they're spending it all on
a secret party
or on the secret controlling puppet master?
Just the people in charge.
How does the money get to the people in charge if they're spending this money on like giving it to Taylor Swift to endorse someone? Or like, how's that money from? Is Taylor Swift the one in charge?
Well, maybe a little bit. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
but I think it's no.
It just seems like they're paying for all these TV ads and commercials.
Yeah, I wonder who owns the majority of these places.
Sure, which I could.
Can I guess? BlackRock.
No.
Vanguard.
No.
Yes, these are the people running this country.
I don't know. I think that's over.
90% of the stock market is owned by 3 companies. 90%.
No, they're called mutual funds. No. They don't own 90% of the stock.
They do.
No.
Yes,
They don't own 90% of the stocks.
Yes, they do.
They manage the portfolios which people invest in. That's not true.
They own it.
That's not true.
Yes, it is
it's
true.
not true. I will fight you on this. I literally just listened to Dave Ramsey talk about this.
No.
Someone called in sounding just like you.
90% of the market.
90% is owned by 3 companies.
It is.
And Dave Ramsey said that is not true.
Yes.
They manage the portfolios for 90%. So the stocks aren't owned by them. The stocks are owned by different people who can sell and get rid of them at any time.
No,
they just manage the portfolios.
The shareholders.
Nope, they're not.
Yes. The stock market's rigged.
We're both going to look
And
it
that's
up
why
right now.
these people are in control.
Where'd you hear your
Because they have
information from?
I really don't want to say.
Yeah, I bet it's somewhere sketchy. And if you word it in such a way, I'm sure you could say, oh yeah, they own 90%. It's like they manage 90%. They don't literally own 90% of the stocks. Yeah. I'll let you Google it because I can't double multitask. The stock market is not rigged in the sense that only like 3 people own 90% of it.
No, it's rigged.
Or 3 companies.
No, well, okay, even if it's a different percentage, which I'm still arguing it's not, I don't think it's debatable that these 3 companies own the majority share of U.S. businesses.
I would be curious to see what the exact number. I'm sure they own a lot.
Which means that they're in control.
Businesses, sure, maybe a lot of the businesses, but the money flowing into it, we still actually have a pretty good system as far as the stock market of the investors and people being investing those on their own. So they do own a lot, but to say that it's like this monopoly, I don't think so.
I mean, I am looking at AI on Google, but it says the big 3, which are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. The largest shareholders, they are the largest single shareholders in nearly 90% of the S&P 500 companies. That's what this is telling me. So
they were just getting that from a website, which is
I don't know.
They manage the portfolios. Yeah, I would encourage everyone listening
doesn't say
to
managers. Mine says shareholders. Between these 3
what
companies.
Does the word shareholder mean? They
owning it. Yeah, then these 3 companies own 90% of the S&P 500 of companies.
Own. What does own mean? I think own just means manage in that sense.
No, they own the shares.
They do not own. Yes. 3 companies do not own 90% of the shares. That is not
exactly
true.
What this
is not
saying.
True.
Yes. When you invest
we'll fact
in
check
Apple,
this. We'll look into this.
You
later.
own a share in Apple.
Yes.
And Apple is at the mercy of their shareholders.
Well, actually, here's the thing.
They don't care about my opinion because I own this much.
When someone invests in their 401k, they don't literally give money to Apple shares. They give money to one of those companies, which then invests in Apple. But it's still your money.
Well,
it's still your shares. That's how it works.
If you buy single stocks, that's not how it works.
But most people don't.
I can take my money
for all the
and
401ks. There's not single stocks.
I
that's called day
understand how
trading.
mutual funds work.
Okay.
Mutual, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you are owning a part of this company.
Yeah.
And the company, the CEO, is at the mercy of the people who own the company now, publicly traded, the shareholders. Mm-hmm. I only owe this much, so they don't care about my opinion. Sure. But when I owe this much and someone else owns 90% of that company, guess who's in charge of that company? That person that owns 90%, which is not a person. It's a corporation, which is BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And that's why they're in charge.
So it's true what you're saying, that they do have great influence in the company.
Control.
It's not true that people that they have all this money, they're buying all these stocks. No, they get money from other people, and then they use the other people's money. They manage the portfolios. That's all they do. No. So they do have a lot of say. Right, but it's not just all. It's not like there's this company
90% of it is theirs.
It's not like there's this company.
What you're talking
it's not
about.
like there's company with $10 trillion who owns 90% of the stocks. That's not how it is. They get their money from all these other people with mutual funds and 401ks, which they're not completely in control. They manage. Yeah, we don't need to spend more time on this. But yes, these big companies do control a lot.
And my point is, they are the people behind the scenes that are getting rich off of it all. They're getting rich off of wasting hundreds of millions of dollars on elections.
They don't want you to buy a house.
They're getting rich. Like all of it, you trace back to these guys, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you get rid of these guys? I don't know.
Yeah, I would just be hesitant, I'd just be hesitant to stir up a fear of like, oh man, the stock system's rigged and I can't get ahead. And
No,
oh
if
man,
you invest money in the
people...
stock market or mutual funds, you will get a return.
Sure.
I'm not doubting that at all.
Yeah.
I'm doubting that these people are actually in charge and they're the only ones who will get ahead at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it can still be too pessimistic when you're just like, oh, these three companies control it all, and so politics doesn't really matter, and who I vote for doesn't really matter because they control everything. And it's like, sure, they have a say, but I don't believe they control everything because it's like they definitely didn't want Donald Trump to win.
Or did they?
I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know. Because
who could have seen that coming? Unless they're wizards.
Maybe they just needed someone who was crazy enough to be able to try to get in and fight with Iran. Because that last...
Is this like the 4D chess move?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, hey,
I don't think it's as obvious as people think. That's my point.
Sure.
People think evil is obvious, and I don't think it is.
I'll give you that.
And I think if you just kind of just barely look, don't look too close, just kind of barely look. Mm-hmm. It's like all of this is going in like a direction.
But I often think people give evil too much credit. People think that evil people are smarter than they are. It's like, oh, they're masterminds. It's like, sure, they're smart. And sure, they have a plan and an agenda.
Sure.
But to act like everything is just like, no, they make mistakes. And there's things that happen all the time that they don't account for. Yeah. I think Donald Trump was something that no one could account for.
I think the first time. The second time, though, it's pretty easy to account for him because you like know him.
Sure. So you can factor that. But yeah, to act like, oh, they know they're taking in all this news and information just like us. And sure, there's people who want to push our nation in a direction. But yeah, I just wouldn't want to give them too much credit.
You're telling me you don't think there's an Illuminati behind the scenes?
Not quite like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean by Illuminati?
Like a secret organization.
I think there's an organization that will make
where the real decisions are made.
I think there's definitely an organization that has great power over the public perception of things, because you hear stories about like artists and people who make deals and then they're able to get famous. And this might sound controversial, but there's this one guy, Josiah Queen.
Really?
Music artist. It's like, how did he get so big so fast?
Good music. Spotify.
There's lots of good music. Why him?
Because he got found.
Sure,
discovered.
He got discovered. Someone discovered him, and then he was able to get all his music in all the right places at all the right time, and then blow up.
Yeah, on Spotify.
And it's just
Apple
like you're either super lucky. No, I don't think you just. I don't know. You either got super lucky, or you just knew the right people. I'm just saying it's maybe not completely natural. I like his music too, but maybe it's just not completely natural. Yeah, it's just like it's like Forrest Frank. He's been in this for years, right? With all these other bands, he does Christian, and then you can kind of see why that blows up. But with him, it's just like he was a nobody. And then it's just all of a sudden,
Josiah Queen better than Forrest Frank.
That's great.
I'll say it.
It's just like he was a nobody, and then one day it's just like he's everywhere, and it's just like you must know these people. You must know some people, which is fine. You're allowed to know people. You're allowed to use connections. It's just like I don't know. It's like there's maybe certain connections that you can get, and you can become famous. If the right people can make me famous. You can make anyone blow up and be famous. It's just knowing the right people and having the right people pull the strings.
Yeah.
So in the sense of the Illuminati, like I think there's people who you can make deals or agreements and be like, we'll make you famous. We'll give you everything you want.
Sell your soul and they make you famous.
Sell your air quotes. Sell your soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe in the Illuminati in that sense.
That's good.
Is that more crazy or less crazy?
In the music industry, but not in the political.
I think in the political, maybe to a certain, I think maybe in a similar way. It's like, how do people get elected? Well, you need a lot of money.
Sure.
It's like, well, okay, where does this money come from? You need all this popularity.
Yeah.
It's like, we know the right people. So in that sense, sure. So, but over it all, completely, entirely, I don't know. I think it's still, I don't think it's completely squeaky. Definitely not squeaky clean. But I don't know.
249 years.
It's a long time. What's one of your favorite America highlights?
What's my favorite thing America's done?
Or just something cool about America and their history. I like when we beat the Mexicans of Teddy Roosevelt.
I don't know much about that era of history.
I know we got to Mexico City. We got to their capital, and we gave it all back. We're like, hey, here, we beat you so bad, we'll let you have your country back.
Yeah. I don't know. My favorite thing about America is that it's the land of opportunities.
That's true. Is the American dream still alive again?
Yeah, no, I think it still is. I think it's harder, but I think it's still alive.
I think a big part of that is just making sure you live in the right place. Because like I couldn't afford a house in Philadelphia.
Sure.
But I can kind of afford a house here.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like knowing having the right place. But then there's not as many jobs here as in Philadelphia. So I kind of get a little lucky. But, it's just kind of, there's lots of cheap houses in the southeast where people don't want to live.
Sure.
Like even cheaper houses.
There's a bunch of bugs that'll get you.
Yeah. So if you want to make money, you can go there, buy a house, pay it off, sell it, and go move somewhere more expensive.
Yeah.
So you can do it. Just hard work.
Yeah.
Dedication. Anyone can make it in America. The land of immigrants.
That's right.
What are you, Hagen? Are you like Irish? Where did your family come from?
Don't know.
Wow.
Denmark.
You're just that
Danish.
American. Wow.
Partly. And then the rest, I don't know, England. Everyone says they're related to the Queen.
Maybe everyone is.
It's like, please.
Yeah. Did your family find the Civil War?
I don't know. Mormons are really big into genealogy, so I should know all this. But I don't think we were much of war people.
Yeah. I think my family came after the Civil War. I don't think we thought.
You're like, now it's safe.
Yeah. Yeah, now they're not.
They got that worked
now
out.
They're not killing each other.
Settle.
What interesting time. Before we had like Constitution, we had, what was it called? You know what I'm talking about? When before there was the Constitution, it was like this thing where the states had way more power. It was the Federalist Papers or something like that. The Federalists. You know anything about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that it existed.
Yeah. And we got rid of that. Thanks to Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
He also did something with the banks. And I was thinking about this. He's like this guy, I forget his name, who wrote the musical Alexander Hamilton. Like, what a loser. He wrote a musical and then he made himself the main character. And we're all just like, wow, this is so good.
Alexander Hamilton wrote his own musical?
The guy who made the musical did. And he made himself, he plays Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, the actor makes it.
Yeah, I forget his name. Lin-Manuel Miranda, something like that. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
And he writes this music. Like, if I were to write a musical, I wouldn't make myself the main character. Because it's just like...
You would not.
So egotistical.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I might, but it's still like a...
You know a lot about musicals. We're learning.
I'm really learning. Yeah, I'm really showing my true colors today, I guess. I don't really know that much, but...
I don't know. I think you're playing
I think I've said the two that I really know.
Come on, you have one more in you. Say it.
There is that Wicked movie that came out, but I've never seen the musical. My sister loved it. There's a part 2.
I hear there's a part 2.
Yeah, but
I haven't even seen
the
part
musical
1.
is just one thing. My sister loved it growing up. I always thought it was kind of weird though.
It's growing on you.
Yeah, the movie's really good.
Huh.
The music's great. The choreography, stellar.
Yeah, America's biggest accomplishments.
Yeah. World War II. Should we have dropped the bomb?
No.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really? We shouldn't have killed millions of people. Innocent
Japan. Yeah, I know that's controversial, but I think we
talked about that on this podcast before, haven't we?
Maybe a long time ago, but
yeah, it's good to talk about.
I'm not a big fan of that.
I can see why people aren't a big fan.
I think we should stop killing people. Which I know is crazy.
I think the whole world should just hold hands and sing "Kumbaya." We should never have to kill a person ever again.
Killing each other. That'd be nice.
If only we could all just get along.
I mean, if individuals kill each other, that's
you should just get a microphone and speak to everyone in the world. Guys,
I would like to
stop killing each other.
Yeah,
it's like, it's please. Crazy. If we hadn't dropped the bombs, they would not have surrendered.
That sounds like a good excuse.
The Emperor
to the guy
was
who
crazy.
Pushed the button.
The Emperor was insane.
I don't know.
Kill him.
Why kill all these people? That's
if
the
they
part.
he had, you kill him, it's just like in Iran. You kill all these people, they just get replaced the next day with even more crazy people.
So just kill them all? What's the plan here?
Kill select groups so they surrender. Yes, that was the plan,
Yeah,
and that's what we did. That's what we did.
That.
And it's like we would have had to go to the mainland. We would have to fight tooth and nail for every single island. More people would have died.
I don't know.
And
we
it's
don't
like,
know,
and
actually.
It don't know.
It just sounds
But
good
they
to
would
say.
not
It
have
would have been worse
surrendered.
if we didn't do this terrible thing.
And we did warn them. We did drop down these pamphlets in English. No kidding. In Japanese, saying we're gonna nuke your city. Get out.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about that, though, with just like propaganda, because it's like, is it real?
Sure.
Like, literally, like if today letters from the sky fell out and said, you need to leave 500 miles of the INL, the Idaho National Laboratory, which is a nuclear site, because it's going to be bombed in 48 hours. I think most people I know would stay.
Yeah, probably most people. I would probably leave.
Yeah, it's just like,
if we were at war with a country and it was like realistic, which it wasn't for Japan, it's like, yeah, I would be pretty scared. I'd
even
be like
with these bomb busters that they drop.
I mean, and to be fair, Japanese didn't know how nuclear bombs, that was a new thing, how powerful they were. So it's kind of scary.
Sure.
But yeah, if we hadn't dropped them, the war would have extended, and it sucks. But they weren't going to surrender, and now we're best friends.
I do like that.
It's like you beat them up so hard, they're like, okay, well,
they're kind of one of the few that we actually get along with.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Well, I don't think they trust us. I think they're waiting for the opportunity to get their revenge.
Maybe,
honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. I guess I won't be able to convince you.
But I heard on the radio yesterday, it's like Trump says we wiped out all these nuclear heads with these bunker buster bombs, and then the report comes out from the whatever department and goes, no, there's still stuff there.
I know.
So it's like, who do you believe?
I think that's fit. Yeah, it's propaganda, like you said.
Yeah, but who's propaganding? That's the problem.
I don't know.
Because literally one
know.
says, nope, that's completely a lie. We got it all. And someone else is saying, absolutely not. And there's no way for us to know. That's where it gets really weird in the world we live in. Because they can feed you anything.
That is scary.
It's really scary.
We can't know. I mean, is it better than we just don't know? We just don't know if any of this is going on, and we get a newspaper once a month?
I don't know what's better.
That might be better. Simpler times. I think I've realized in all this that it's just like...
What have you learned in all of this?
I've learned a lot. I learn a lot every day. I think it's just like, why listen to all these people talk about it when it's going to change? Like no one can talk about something as up to date. Because with this whole Iran thing, it's like something different every day. So like if I just listen to this person talk about it, they're going to be it's going to be in the past. And it's just like, that's kind of how it always is though. Like no one can be up to date.
By the time you talk about it, it's
by the time you're
past.
listening to this, maybe Iran's going to be gone.
Or maybe we're gone.
Maybe we'll know.
Maybe we don't make it to 249.
Oh no. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we'll know if we really destroyed their nukes, or maybe they'll have the nukes. You don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like we're living in the past right now. Me and Hagen are.
It is like that. Yeah.
That's the magic of television.
We're a week away from the 4th of July when we record this.
Yeah, or 2 weeks.
What's next week, right?
Yeah, okay, next Friday, yeah. So over a week. Yeah. But in conclusion, nuking Japan was a good idea. Have you seen the video of the guy who did it? He said, I'd do it again.
I did not see that, no.
He understood his
I
mission.
didn't even understand what nuclear is, honestly.
Splitting atoms.
Yeah, but I didn't even know what that means. I really don't.
Well, you see, Jesus holds all the atoms together.
Yeah.
So really, nuclear bombs are just the Jesus force.
Maybe.
That's what people say. Yeah, because it's the atomic glue. Because there's like these positive protons in the center, right? Wait, no, there's the neutrons and the protons. And the electrons are in the middle. Never mind.
I don't know anything about this
I just
stuff.
know that they should fly apart, but they don't. And the nuclear bomb is when they actually do fly apart and you split an atom. That's what I know. I know that's true.
That's what
I read it on the internet.
How do we put these bunker busters that blow up a nuclear bomb, but the bomb doesn't blow up?
Well, I don't think they quite had a nuclear bomb yet. They were just getting close.
I don't understand.
But I don't understand how they get close to making a nuclear bomb. They need to refine it, but what the heck does that mean?
We're only 3 days away. Like, yeah.
Why does it take? Yeah, why is it so hard? Which I'm glad it's hard to make one of those. I'm glad it's not just easy. That's a good thing. That's not just cheap and easy, because then everyone would have a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And maybe that would be good. We just let everyone get a nuclear
just give
bomb.
One to everyone.
Every nation gets one nuclear bomb.
Use it wisely.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you got these crazy Muslim nations that want the end of the world and they believe that if they can bring on the end of the world, then their jihad, whatever, seventh Iman will come.
Yeah.
So that's kind of bad. You don't want to give them some because they'll use them. Not everyone has this mutual, you believe that everyone's going to we don't want to use these nuclear bombs because then we'll destroy ourselves. Not everyone has that mindset.
Yeah.
Some people want it. Yeah.
Sure.
Not everyone has the mindset. Mutually assured destruction.
Wow.
That's what they say. Not everyone has that.
That's right.
Yep.
We have, even though we've dropped 2, we have it. Even though we're the only people on the planet to drop 2. We know.
We got ahead.
But we won't do it again.
We got ahead of it.
You have them.
We did it. And then we're like, okay guys, no more. Sorry, we got there first.
Yeah.
Sorry, our scientists are the best and the brightest. Take us to the moon? That was probably a highlight.
Please.
That's probably the highlight of America, honestly.
We didn't go to the moon.
Yes. In whatever year we did it, 1846.
Might as well be 1846. Yeah.
I don't know, 1897.
1969.
1969.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for us. America. We did it. I was really off.
Yeah, like 100 years and some change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at dates.
They didn't have airplanes before 19 something.
Wasn't that amazing?
Warble and Wilbur. Right. Made an airplane.
Yeah.
And really not that long afterwards, we had jets, which is crazy. Like in the 50s, people are flying around on
We're
Boeings.
Smart. We're creative.
So that's interesting.
Which makes me...
And really the design hasn't changed much, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. They've just made the seats smaller, I think.
Yeah. Well, now they're going to have a stand up, too.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, someone texted me. Oh. Hey, Jordan, I'm here at the Heritage Center. Where are you at? Almost done.
We have 1 minute. That's where we're at.
Almost done with a podcast. Any other thoughts on America?
America's the best country on the planet. I still believe that. I think we have way more problems than some people like to think about. I think our national debt's a huge issue that no one's talking about, except for Massey.
Yeah, please.
With his counter.
You love your Thomas Massey.
That's the biggest, honestly, that should be the biggest issue. And I don't know why it's not.
I agree with you, but...
The biggest.
I know.
Every day, someone should be talking about that in Congress, and no one does. It's crazy. When I was in high school, it was 16 trillion. 16 trillion. Now it's 37 trillion.
That's only 21
It's
more
insane. And everyone just pretends like it's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem ever. Literally, it's the biggest problem ever. I cannot figure that out for the life of me.
Well, all we need to do is
how we just pretend like it's not a problem.
Stop spending money to Israel, and then we'll solve the problem.
Well, we need to stop spending money everywhere.
We just let Israel disappear, and Russia take Ukraine, and that will solve all of our problems.
Probably not, but it would save us money.
Yeah. We just no longer become... At least right now we're in a lot of debt, but at least we're still the biggest dog, you know?
I guess so.
Would you rather be not the biggest dog and have a bunch of debt?
I think China's pretty big.
Yeah, I think people overestimate China. I think they're still probably our biggest threat. But overall, I think China might have more. They would maybe people say the paper dragon. Maybe they seem very scary. But it's just like, yeah.
I think China's...
Their population has problems. They have the weird empty cities. At least we don't have those. You know what I'm talking about?
Not I could
these
imagine that
these
it's
massive
a big city
cities.
that's empty. Probably like Detroit, but
no, at least Detroit has people in it everywhere.
There's a lot of empty buildings in Detroit, I hear.
Yeah, but China has completely empty cities.
I don't know. Sounds like propaganda.
They built these massive cities. Please, you sound like that one streamer who went to China who says China's the best place ever. The speed guy. the African American dude.
Never heard of him.
He went to China and it's like, I love China so much. And he's like this popular streamer.
It's probably nice in some spots.
Sure, I'm sure in some spots.
Yeah.
It's like going to Moscow
But it's
and be like, Russia's so nice.
It's such a big
country. Yeah, but
country.
90% of the population lives in poverty.
No.
Same thing with
They just
China.
manage. 90% manage it. They don't live in it.
Yeah. Same thing with China. There's really nice parts where all the rich people live.
It's the same thing with the United States.
Heck no.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of nowhere right now.
I know.
And there's
that's
so
good
many
news.
nice places here. And there's so many rich,
there's
wealthy people here.
Terrible places too, is my point. There's nice places and dumpy places.
Yeah,
Where
but-
people literally poop on the streets in America. It's a problem.
Sure.
That's third world country
But
stuff.
the people pooping on the streets are at least pooping on the streets in the nice part, like San Diego. They're pooping in the nice stuff. In America, it's nothing like those other countries.
No, I agree. My only
Yeah.
point is there's nice places and trashy places everywhere, just like America.
Sure.
And there's some trashy places
But there's
here.
nowhere in America where if someone is like not insane and actually like tries, will they starve to death? Nowhere. We have too many services. We have too many opportunities. McDonald's is everywhere. You can go get a job.
Yeah.
McDonald's are good for eating and working. Nowhere in America will someone starve. In China and Russia, I think people are starving and they don't
People
show
are
it.
starving in Gaza right now,
Yeah.
which is a problem. There's
Yeah.
nowhere on the planet
Maybe
where
they
people
shouldn't.
should have to be
I shouldn't
starving.
say this.
They shouldn't.
Being recorded right now. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Gaza. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, maybe if they didn't put their military stuff in hospitals and schools, all their kids wouldn't be dying. That's kind of a problem, right?
It's
They
a
wouldn't
bit
dig,
of a problem.
They wouldn't dig their secret bunkers underneath their
I
cities.
think part of that's
Maybe we
propaganda
wouldn't-
too. I think it's
I don't
true,
know.
but I don't think it's always that way.
I think it's mostly that way. They had their underground bunker system under their cities with American hostages in it. And when Israel tries to kill the people in charge, like you said, kill the people in charge, Israel tries to do that. Israel tries, and innocent people get hurt. It's like if someone kidnapped Chase, someone kidnapped Chase, and then you shot at them, trying to hit them, and you hurt Chase. It's like, who swallows that? Not yours.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of kids getting blown up.
It's like I'm
in any
going to use a
situation.
human shield, and I'm going to blame you when you hit my human shield. It's like you can't use human shields. And in Israel, again, they'll warn them. They will. But the Gaza, they've been brainwashed. To
Where
hate
are they
Israel.
supposed to go? That's the thing.
That's a problem.
Where are they
War
supposed
is
to go?
messy, for sure. War is messy, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah,
I think
when you elect a government organization as your leadership, and a terrorist organization, when you elect a terrorist group, it's like that's a bad decision, and there's consequences to that.
I think it's always wrong to kill children.
Yes, it is.
I
wrong
want to go
kill
on record
children.
of saying that.
I agree.
I think it's always wrong,
It's wrong
to kill
to kill
children.
children.
Always wrong.
Now, but Israel's not trying to kill children; they're trying to kill the terrorists under the children.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
where it's weird, right?
Yes, it is weird.
So-
yes, and they're trying to miss the children,
No,
warn the
and I understand
children,
that-
and they're
that-
trying their very best.
I understand
And
that-
how are you supposed to do that?
I understand that Hamas killed it was
Yeah, and it's
terrible
not-
things to a bunch of Jews.
But Israel's not like, oh, you killed us, now we're gonna kill a bunch of your innocent people. That's not what Israel's doing.
Well, there's a lot of innocent people dying in Gaza.
Yes, because they're trying to kill. Yeah, because they're hiding behind them. That's the whole point. And it's
Go
like
from the other side.
it's a city. What are you talking about?
You have the best technology on the planet. If you're hiding behind someone, go around the other side. Like, I don't know. I think
go
it's,
around the other. They're underground and
Oh, now they're
bunkers.
underground.
They are.
Okay.
That's what I've said this whole time. They're hiding underground the schools and
Forever?
hospitals.
They're just living underground for 6 months. They never come up.
First, they steal the humanitarian
I don't know.
aid that we send them. We send them so much money, humanitarian aid. They steal it from their own people, go underground, and then, yeah. They abuse the hostages that they stole, and then they just kind of say, oh, don't attack it. Just let us live here and stay here. And just plan another
We should make a
terrorist
golf
group.
course in Gaza. That's what we should
Yes.
do, a resort.
It's like, what do you want Israel to do? What do you want them to do? Not
No,
take down Hamas?
I want them to defend themselves.
Not take down Hamas?
I want them to defend themselves
But how?
by not killing kids. Like
How?
any other country should have the standard.
Sure. I think I think that's propaganda.
Killing kids?
Yeah, and the numbers are coming from, well, all these people have died. All these people have died. Who gives you those numbers? the Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, which is Hamas.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's like you're getting all these numbers and you're seeing all these videos, which makes, oh, Israel just needs to stop. And it's like, yeah, but they need to rescue. Why? If maybe Hamas just releases the hostages, this could all end right now. Right?
I think they should.
They should.
I don't know why.
And so whose
President
fault
Trump,
is it that this war's still going?
I don't know why President Trump, the guy who said one day in office this thing will be ended,
That's
why
true.
it still
That's a
hasn't
big
ended.
problem for Trump. Trump needs to be way harder on Hamas.
And
Yes.
Israel.
What's Israel supposed to do? Release the hostages?
No, come to a peace agreement, which they tried. Well, with Iran, they just tried, and then guess who ended the ceasefire? Israel, which is fine.
I don't know anything about that.
But you do it.
I don't know anything about that.
I do it. Just happened.
Yes, yeah.
He used the F word against them.
He
Trump
was very
did.
mad, yes.
They don't know what the heck they're doing, he said.
What the heck?
And I get it.
I don't think he used the word heck, yeah.
You've been fighting for so long. It's like, here's a chance that you have the president of the United States trying to help you, and then you shoot yourself in the foot right away. It's like, what are you doing?
I think they're calming down again. I think it was a misclick.
Please.
They accidentally fired back.
Yeah.
Well, Iran shot a rocket at them first, and they retaliate. They shouldn't have retaliated because the rocket got hit down. But to be fair, technically, Iran broke the peace treaty. Peace treaty, Iran shoots a rocket, Israel retaliates that. Oh, Israel, you're the bad guy now. Why'd you retaliate? They shot a rocket at us.
Please.
Okay, we'll do a peace treaty. I'm going to shoot at you and miss, and you're the bad guy for shooting back
I
at
thought
me.
you didn't know anything about this.
I just think
You
it
seem to
seems
know
through
quite a
common
bit.
sense. Yeah, I don't know all the details, but it seems common sense is just like people want an excuse to hate the Jews.
No, I think that's true. I think
Yeah.
anti-Semitism is at a rise, but I just wish that people would stop killing each other. That's all I want.
I just wish we could all live in peace.
I do.
It's great. Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. I just don't think, yeah. It's like, well, what do you want Israel to do? Just say, okay, you took all our hostages. You can keep them. Let's just have peace. Keep the hostages. Let's have peace. And you can just kind of hide in your bunkers and then come back and take more
And
hostages.
it doesn't, I
And
don't
it's
know.
like, well, is that what you want?
It doesn't
It's
make
like-
sense why it's taking this long either.
You would think by now they would be done.
Yeah,
but
why are we
maybe
stretching
they're
this thing
being
out?
slowed down and put on a leash because of all this propaganda and bad press. America's saying, well, and that what's happening with Joe Biden. I don't know what Trump is like. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. It's like, well, we need to do this to end it, but we can't because you're putting us on this leash. And it's like, well, yeah.
I have no problem with capital punishment and killing people who kill people, but I have problems with killing
Yes, you should
people
not
who are
kill
innocent.
children.
Yes, that's my only
People
problem.
who are innocent sucks.
So I know it sounds hippy dippy, but
No, it sucks.
I think it's
It's
true.
awful. It's terrible. Yes, that children are dying all over the world
yeah,
every
it's a
day.
problem.
And it's like, oh my goodness, that is awful. And here we are in America.
That's right.
Yep.
The best country in the world, 249
Yeah.
years old. So
That's good. Well,
broker than dirt, but we're still here.
we're still here. Yep.
So we'll see what
We're
happens.
like the uncle who's broke.
Maybe we'll sell all of our public lands like Republicans want to do. We'll see how that works.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, please.
Why?
Everyone's
Sell-
fighting that now.
Sell Yellowstone?
Everyone agrees with that. That's a terrible idea. Democrats and Republicans are coming together on this one.
Why can't
But
we
this
just
is
sell
stupid.
Yellowstone?
To who?
I don't know. To rich Americans.
Dutton? John Dutton?
Yeah, heck yeah. And they just pay off the debt with that money.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you want to be in debt. You know, people like you complain about the debt, but you're not willing to do what it takes to
Stop
solve it.
spending. That's my solution. Stop spending.
Stop spending.
Yes.
And let grandma die.
Stop
Stop
spending.
sending grandma her Medicare check. Is that what you want?
No, Medicare can stay.
Because that's basically all the
I
money.
think there's plenty.
Medicare is basically a
Please.
fourth of the spending, a
No,
third of the spending.
stop it.
It's true. We spend so much Medicare and like the retirement thing, like that's all of it.
That's not all of it.
Basically, it's
No
like a
way.
big percentage of it, but we're not gonna. We can't touch that.
Our
can't-
biggest budget, our biggest item in the budget
Defense.
is military. Yeah, defense.
Okay, well, let's just stop spending money on defense.
Well,
Let's stop paying our soldiers.
no, I just wonder how. I just think there's a lot of waste.
There's a lot of waste. Good thing we have Elon. Oh wait, no, we don't.
They got
They
divorced.
fucking him. Yeah. Well, even Elon, he was just cutting things on the little side. The big things are Medicare.
But even the things he said, I don't think got cut.
Yeah, they need to cut them.
Yeah, Congress
Yeah.
still has to get that out of the budget. So it's not even, we haven't saved one dime, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's just pointing this stuff out.
It's all Congress's fault.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, I have VBS skit practice. Hagen, I enjoy these chats.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't know why
I
it's
feel like
hard.
we weren't quite.
I don't know why it's hard to say
unified.
it's a bad idea to drop the nuclear bomb and it's a bad idea to kill kids. I don't know why we have a controversy there, but
I just think it's okay to murder children and you don't. That's just where we're at, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Came to an impasse.
And that's where I think people do misapply supporting Israel. Supporting Israel doesn't mean you cannot say anything negative about them.
Sure, that's true.
And critics look at conservative evangelicalism and think that that's what we do. Mm-hmm. That Israel gets a pass to do whatever they want because the Bible says you just have to bless them. Mm-hmm. And that's not what that means. We believe they have a right to exist as a nation. We want to support them, but it doesn't mean they're perfect. And it doesn't mean you can't call them out when they err.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I stand on that.
Yeah. But defending against, well, I don't want to appear like that. So I'm going to give Israel a hard time.
I'm not giving them a hard, I'm just criticizing them where they need it, where it's obvious.
I don't know.
Say something negative about Israel.
Their hats are stupid. Too tiny, get bigger size hats.
Yeah. So to me, yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't think there's just this weird, almost taboo thing where it's like, you can't question it at all. And it's like,
they're really gay. They're way too gay.
Me questioning it.
Tel Aviv's like the gayest city in the world.
It's pretty liberal.
Yeah. Stop being so gay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Tiny hats, too gay. Those are my two criticisms of Israel.
Yeah. Me saying that I don't like Israel.
It's like, I don't like that the children in Gaza are dying.
Not supporting Israel.
I just don't know what you want them to do. I hate the fact that children are dying.
Okay.
So what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do?
I want them to stop killing children.
How?
Stop putting the bombs where the kids are.
And the hostages don't get released. Stop putting the bombs where the kids are. How would you stop putting the kids where the military is?
I don't know. How
it's just like, it's not as like, Israel just needs to stop. It's like, well, what do you want? Like,
no, I think Hamas needs to stop too. I think Hamas needs to be eliminated, and Israel should stop killing kids.
But Hamas isn't going to.
Hamas needs to stop killing kids too, and America needs to stop killing kids because we've killed plenty of kids on our own.
Sure,
dropping bombs.
But I just think it's like almost a silly idea. It's like, well, Hamas isn't going to stop killing kids. They're not going to stop being a terrorist organization. They're not going to release the hostages. They're not going to stop.
So what do you do?
So we need to find
kill
the best.
Every single
no,
one
we don't need to
person?
kill that. They're not. Yeah. Again, I think there's a certain level of numbers that are being skewed. It's like, well, they need to try their best to get in there and eliminate Hamas. And Hamas keeps on hiding behind kids. We're going to try and save as many kids as we can, but we need to eliminate Hamas. It's like, if you just don't, then they keep the hostages. They keep on being a terrorist organization. They just keep on killing more and more people and abusing their own citizens. And it's like, what do you like? It's like, it's hard.
It is hard. And this is like a big morality dilemma. But I think one innocent kid is not worth the life of the terrible leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
but they're not intentionally killing the kids. Every kid they kill, it's an accident. It's awful, and it's a terrible thing. It's an accident. They're not intentionally trying to do it. The difference between Hamas is literally trying to kill the children by putting them in front. And it's so evil because they'll put the kids in front. They'll trick Israel into blowing them up, record a video, and say, "Look, Israel's killing the children." Like, they didn't mean to do that, and it's just so demonic and so evil. It doesn't justify them killing kids.
Sure,
but it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah. So what do you want them to do?
I want them to stop killing kids.
Yes.
You keep asking me the question, I answer the same way. So whatever we got to do to just stop that, then I think we'll be able to move forward. But
yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah, but imagine you're one of those American hostages. And it's like, oh, Israel just gave up because they got a bunch of bad press. And Hamas was able to trick them into killing some kids. So they're just not going to try anymore. And it's like, oh, that sucks.
No, I think they should.
Like, their lives matter too.
I think there's this dilemma, like the only way to get the hostages is if you kill kids. I don't think that's the world we're living in.
I don't think that is true.
But that seems to be the game we're playing. So
I'm not, yeah. They're not trying to kill the kids. They're trying to get around that every way they can.
Yeah, probably.
And
to a certain extent.
I'm sure. I believe that.
I think
I believe that confidently.
I think there's bad things that Israeli soldiers have done to Hamas. I think there was reports and videos that came out of them raping women as well and being not good. And I'm not a fan of that any more than I am of Hamas doing that. Just because you have a yarmulke doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes back to, how do you know what to believe unless you see it?
Sure.
Because all we're doing is eating the information we're fed.
That's true. Yeah.
But America's 249 years
Great,
old.
yep.
We got a lot going for us. We are Israel's biggest supporter, and we should continue to be.
Yeah.
And as Christians, we should pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Amen.
Even though they're far from perfect.
Yes,
and it's okay to talk about how they're not perfect sometimes.
Yeah. And Israel might fall, like we've talked about.
They might fall.
They might fall.
Fall meaning
Be destroyed.
Yeah.
It could happen.
I don't believe that, but yes.
It could happen, though, and then God could bring them back.
Yeah.
God will bring them back.
I don't think they get 2 new births. I think they only get 1, but...
They've had a couple of new births.
Yeah, but not this time.
This time it's different.
Yeah, this time they only get born again once.
Okay. Well, they haven't quite been born again yet.
Brought back to life, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the nation itself, the dry bones coming back to life. I think that happened in 1948.
Okay, right on. Yeah,
so I don't think they'll cease to exist ever again.
Probably. I think you're probably right. I think they could.
I don't think so.
I think, yeah. Well, yeah, it's more in the dry bones coming back to life. Yeah. Well, I got to go do my VBS skit. Hagen,
Happy
thanks.
4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Hopefully
Hagen.
enjoy your fireworks today.
Thank you. We hope you, I hope you enjoy your fireworks.
Your
today,
hot
Hagen.
dogs, your hamburgers, your fireworks.
Yep.
4th of July is actually one of my favorite holidays.
It's great. This Sunday, Church in the Park. Be there at 10 o'clock at Veterans Park.
That's right.
It'll be great.
Baptisms,
Hope to see you
barbecue,
there.
acai bowl.
Free acai bowl.
That's right.
So if you're listening to this and you want a free acai bowl, come to Church in the Park.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.